My name's Jack Ramsey, and I turned 48 on April 12, 2025. I didn't expect much fanfare. Never been one for big parties, but I figured my wife, Ellen, and our two kids, Mason and Claire, might at least toss me a card or a cake. Maybe a happy birthday, Dad, over breakfast. Instead, I woke up to a house so quiet it felt like the walls were holding their breath. No coffee brewing, no shoes by the door, no note on the counter. Just me and the hum of the fridge. I'd been married to Ellen for 22 years. We met at a diner where she waitressed, back when I was fixing cars for a living. She had this smile that could light up a room, and I was the steady guy who showed up with flowers every Friday. We built a life. Nothing fancy, just a 3-bedroom rancher outside Boise, Idaho, with a mortgage I'd been chipping away at. Mason's 21 now, works construction when he feels like it. Claire's 19, taking classes at the community college. Ellen runs a little online shop selling handmade scarves. I'm a warehouse supervisor, pulling 50-hour weeks to keep the lights on. That's us in a nutshell. So when I rolled out of bed that morning, I wasn't shocked they hadn't thrown me a parade. But the silence? That hit different. I checked my phone. No texts, no missed calls. Just a weather alert about rain moving in. I shuffled to the kitchen, made myself some eggs, and figured they'd wandered off early. Ellen had mentioned something about a weekend craft fair a while back. Maybe the kids tagged along. By noon, I started wondering. I shot Ellen a text. Hey, where'd everybody go? No reply. I called Mason, straight to voicemail. Claire's phone rang twice, then nothing. I ain't the paranoid type, but my gut started twisting. I scrolled Facebook, and there it was, a photo of Ellen, Mason, and Claire grinning on a dock, water sparkling behind them. Caption said, Lake Tahoe vibes. Family time is the best time. Posted 2 hours ago. I stared at it, my eggs getting cold on the plate. Lake Tahoe's a 6-hour drive from Boise. They didn't just pop over for lunch. I sat there, letting it sink in. My birthday, and they'd hauled off to Tahoe without so much as a heads up. I clicked through more pictures. Ellen sipping a drink with an umbrella in it. Mason flexing by a boat. Claire laughing with some guy I didn't recognize. Comments piled up. Looks amazing. Wish I was there. Nobody mentioned me. Not a word. I ain't a guy who gets mad easy. I'm the one who fixes the leaky sink without complaining, who drives the kids wherever they need to go, who nods when Ellen spends half a Saturday on her scarf business. But sitting there, staring at my phone, I felt something hot behind my eyes. Not tears, anger. I poured a coffee, grabbed my laptop, and started digging. First stop, our bank account. We've got a joint one for bills. Been that way since Mason was in diapers. I logged in, and my jaw hit the floor. Over the last month, $4,200 had drained out. ATM withdrawals, Venmo transfers, a chunk to some place called Tahoe Pines Resort. Last withdrawal was 3 days ago, $800 in cash. I checked my own card, nothing touched. They'd funded this little getaway with our money, my money, and left me in the dark. Next, I poked around Ellen's email. Yeah, we share passwords. Always have, just in case. Took me 10 minutes to find a confirmation for a cabin rental, booked 2 weeks back. 4 nights, 3 bedrooms, lakefront view. Total cost, $2,100. Paid with a debit card I didn't recognize. I kept scrolling, found a PayPal receipt for boat rentals, $600, and a Venmo history showing Ellen sending Mason $300 with a memo for Tahoe fun. My birthday was yesterday, and they'd been planning this for weeks. I leaned back in my chair, the house creaking around me. I ain't rich. Every dollar I earn goes somewhere. Mortgage, groceries, Claire's tuition. I don't splurge on myself. Last new thing I bought was a pair of work boots 6 months ago. But there they were, living it up on a lake, while I sat home eating eggs alone. I thought about calling, demanding answers, but my hands wouldn't move. Instead, I opened a beer and kept digging. That's when I found the group chat. Ellen's phone syncs to our iPad, and I'd never bothered checking it before. It was her, Mason, Claire, and Ellen's sister, Trish, plotting the whole thing. Trish, Jack won't care. He's always at work anyway. Ellen, yeah, he'll probably enjoy the peace. Mason, LOL, Dad's too boring for Tahoe. Claire, I feel kinda bad, but he'd hate the boat stuff. They'd convinced themselves I wouldn't notice, or wouldn't mind. Like I'm some piece of furniture they could step around. By 8 p.m., I'd printed it all, bank statements, emails, screenshots of that chat. I spread it out on the dining table, a paper trail of how little I mattered to them. My phone buzzed. Claire, finally. Hey Dad, you good? Like she didn't know where I was. Like it wasn't my birthday yesterday. I didn't answer. An hour later, Mason texted. Yo, you alive? Mom's freaking out. I ignored that too. Ellen called at 9:30, voicemail. Jack, why aren't you picking up? We're worried. Worried, sure. Worried now that they realized I wasn't playing along. I didn't sleep much that night. Sat on the back porch, sipping another beer, watching the stars. I ain't a guy who makes scenes. I fix things, I keep going. But that night, I decided something. I wasn't gonna let this slide. Not this time. Tomorrow, I'd start moving pieces around. Money, locks, whatever it took. They wanted to treat me like I didn't exist? Fine. I'd show them what invisible really looks like. The next morning, April 13th, 2025, I woke up on the couch with a crick in my neck and a half-empty beer bottle still in my hand. The clock said 6:15, and the house was still dead quiet. No surprise there. Ellen, Mason, and Claire were probably waking up to lake views and pancakes at that Tahoe cabin, while I was staring at a coffee table covered in bank statements and screenshots. My birthday was 2 days gone now, and the sting hadn't faded. If anything, it was sharper, like a splinter working its way deeper. I ain't a guy who sits around feeling sorry for himself, though. Never have been. So I got up, showered, and made a plan. First thing, the money. I called my bank at 8 o'clock sharp, right when they opened. Spoke to a nice lady named Cheryl who didn't ask too many questions. I told her I needed a new account, just for me, and to reroute my next paycheck there. Took about 20 minutes. New checking account, new debit card on the way, direct deposit switched. The joint account still had $6,000 in it, enough for a couple months of mortgage and bills. I wasn't draining it dry. I just wasn't going to keep feeding it blind. Next, I called my buddy Dave. He's a plumber, been through a nasty divorce a couple years back, caught his wife with his cousin, of all people. He picked up on the second ring. Jack, you alright? It's early for you. I told him the short version. Family ditched me for Tahoe, used my money, didn't even blink. Dave whistled low. Man, that's cold. You need a lawyer? I said maybe, asked for his guy's number. He texted it over with a note. Tell him Dave sent you. He's a shark. I saved it. Step 2 done. By 10 o'clock, I was in the garage, digging through my toolbox. Found a deadbolt I'd bought a while back for the shed, but never installed. I figured the front door could use it instead. Took me an hour to swap it out. Nothing fancy, just a solid lock with a new key. I kept the old one in a drawer, but the message was clear. This house wasn't wide open anymore. Not to them. Not till I got some answers. My phone kept buzzing while I worked. Ellen texted at 9:45. Jack, what's going on? You're scaring us. Mason at 10:10. Dad, seriously, just say something. Claire called at 10:30, left a voicemail. Dad, I don't know why you're mad, but please call back. Mom's crying. I listened to it, felt a tug in my chest, but didn't hit reply. Crying? She wasn't crying in those Tahoe pictures, sipping cocktails with Trish. I wasn't ready to talk, not yet. Around noon, I sat back down with my laptop, pulled up the joint account again, started tracking every dime from the last 6 months. I ain't an accountant, but I can add. Ellen's scarf business brought in maybe $300 a month. Most of that went right back out for yarn and shipping. My paycheck covered 90% of our life. House, cars, Mason's truck repairs, Claire's books. Then I found the PayPal account tied to Ellen's email. She'd been funneling cash there too, $1, $500 over 3 months, labeled craft supplies. Except the receipts showed boutique dresses, a spa day, and a $200 dinner with Trish. My jaw tightened. I printed it all, added it to the pile. By 3 p.m., I'd moved Ellen's clothes to the spare room. Not in a huff, just calm, one hanger at a time. Her dresses, her sweaters, that scarf she wore every winter. I wasn't kicking her out, not yet, but I needed space to think. The master bedroom felt too much like ours, with her stuff in it, and I didn't want that clouding my head. Mason's old room was still a mess from when he moved out, dirty socks and all, so I left it. Claire's stuff stayed put too. This wasn't about them, not entirely. The phone went off again at 4:15. Ellen, Jack, we're coming home tomorrow. Please be there. We need to figure this out. Figure what out? How they forgot me. How they spent my money like it grew on trees. I didn't answer. Instead, I posted a picture on Facebook, first one in months. Just me, sitting on the porch with a beer and a store-bought cake, candles unlit. No words, just the date, April 12th, 2025. Let them chew on that. That's when the flood started. At 5:22 p.m., my phone lit up like a Christmas tree. Ellen, Jack, are you okay? Why won't you talk? Mason, Dad, what's with the cake pic? You're freaking Mom out. Claire, voice shaking in a voicemail. Daddy, I'm sorry about your birthday. Please call me. Trish even chimed in. Jack, this is ridiculous. Call your wife. I counted 32 messages by 8 o'clock, texts, calls, even a Facebook comment from Mason's buddy. Bro, your dad's going dark mode, LOL. I didn't bite. Sat there, sipping whiskey now, watching the screen glow. At 9:30, I made one more move. Drove to the hardware store, picked up a second deadbolt for the back door. Installed it by flashlight, the rain starting to patter on the roof. I wasn't locking them out for good, just making sure they'd have to knock, have to face me, when they rolled back into Boise. I'd spent 22 years being the guy who keeps it together, who doesn't rock the boat. But that guy? He was done waiting for permission to matter. I went to bed at midnight, the house locked up tight, my folder of evidence on the kitchen table. Tomorrow, they'd be home. Tomorrow, we'd talk, or I'd talk, and they'd listen. I didn't know what came next, divorce, yelling, maybe nothing at all. But I knew one thing. I wasn't invisible anymore. Not to them, and damn sure not to myself. April 14th, 2025, started gray and damp, the kind of Idaho morning where the clouds sit low and heavy. I woke up at 5:30, the new deadbolt on the back door gleaming in the dim light coming through the kitchen window. My phone was still buzzing from last night. Ellen, Mason, and Claire piling on messages like they just noticed I existed. I didn't check them yet. Needed coffee first, black and strong, to cut through the fog in my head. I sat at the kitchen table, that folder of bank statements and screenshots staring back at me. I'd added a few more pages overnight, Ellen's PayPal history, a text from Trish saying, Jack's too square for Tahoe anyway, and a Venmo from Mason to some guy named Rusty for $150, labeled boat gas. It was all there, plain as day. They'd planned this trip, spent my money, and laughed about me not fitting in. My birthday wasn't even a footnote. By 7 o'clock, I decided to keep busy. Went to work, yeah, on a Sunday. I'm a warehouse supervisor, and there's always something to do. Stacked pallets, checked inventory, kept my hands moving so my mind wouldn't spin. My crew asked how my weekend was. I just shrugged, said, quiet. They didn't push. Around 10 o'clock, my phone hit 47 messages total, texts, voicemails, even a Facebook poke from Trish, like that'd get me talking. Ellen's latest, Jack, we're packing up. Be home by 6 o'clock. Please don't do this. Do what? Notice? I got home at 2 o'clock, the rain picking up, drumming on the roof of my old Ford pickup. The house felt different, smaller, maybe, with Ellen's clothes gone from our bedroom. I walked through it, taking stock. Mason's room still had his high school football trophies on the shelf. Claire's had her art sketches pinned to the wall, dragons and trees, mostly. The spare room smelled like Ellen's lavender lotion now. I didn't touch anything else, just let it sit. At 3:15, I called the credit card company. We've got 2 cards, mine for emergencies, hers for household stuff. I asked them to pull Ellen off as an authorized user on mine. Guy on the phone, some kid named Tyler, said it'd take 24 hours. I thanked him, hung up, and logged into our mortgage portal. Set the next payment to pull from the joint account. Plenty left there for now, but changed my email alerts to a new address I made. Step by step, I was untangling myself. The messages kept coming. Mason at 3:45. Dad, this is stupid. Just tell us you're fine. Claire at 4 o'clock. A voicemail. Daddy, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. Please pick up. Ellen at 4:30. Jack, I don't know what's wrong, but we'll fix it. On the road now. Fix it? Like it's a leaky faucet? I poured a whiskey, sat on the porch, and watched the rain pool in the driveway. That cake I bought was still on the counter, uneaten. I didn't want it anymore. At 5 o'clock, I posted another picture, me in my work jacket, rain in the background, no smile. Caption, April 14th, 2025. Nothing else. That lit the fuse. By 5:30, my phone was a war zone. Ellen, Jack, stop this. We're worried sick. Mason, dude, what's your deal? Mom's losing it. Claire, crying again. Dad, I feel awful. Please talk to me. Trish, Jack, grow up. You're acting like a baby. I counted 62 messages by 6 o'clock, when they were supposed to roll in. I didn't answer a single one. I heard the car at 6:17, a Subaru Outback, Ellen's, crunching gravel as it pulled up. Doors slammed, voices mumbled, then silence. I figured that's when they tried the front door and found the new lock. The doorbell rang once, twice, 3 times. I took my time, finished my whiskey, and walked over. Opened the door to 3 faces, Ellen, red-eyed and sunburned. Mason, shifting on his feet. Claire, clutching a bag, tears streaking her cheeks. They looked worn out, like the drive had sucked the life out of them. Ellen started fast. Jack, thank God. We've been calling hospitals, thinking you were hurt. Why didn't you answer? I didn't bite. Just pulled out my phone, opened Facebook, and showed her Mason's post. Lake Tahoe vibes. Family time is the best time. Held it up, let it hang there. Mason looked at the floor. Claire sniffled. Ellen's mouth opened, then closed. I spoke, voice steady. When did I stop being family? Nobody answered. Ellen tried again. Jack, it wasn't like that. We were going to celebrate your birthday when we got back. Things got mixed up. I showed her the group chat, Trish's Jack's 2 square line, her own, he'll enjoy the peace. Her face went pale. Mason mumbled, it's just dumb texts, Dad. I turned to him. Dumb enough to spend $4,200 of my money? He froze. Claire whispered, I'm sorry, but it sounded small, swallowed by the rain. I stepped back, held the door. You can come in. But we're talking, really talking before anything's normal again. They shuffled inside, dragging bags, the air thick with tension. I set the folder on the table, opened it wide, bank records, emails, all of it. Start here, I said. Tell me why I'm the only one who didn't know. Ellen sat, hands shaking. Jack, I didn't mean, I cut her off. Don't. Just read. Mason slouched in a chair. Claire hugged herself by the counter. The rain kept falling, and I stood there, waiting. I'd been quiet too long, 22 years of it. Not tonight. Tonight, they'd see me, whether they liked it or not. April 14th, 2025, stretched into the night, the rain tapping the windows like it was keeping time. Ellen, Mason, and Claire sat around the kitchen table. My folder of evidence spread out like a map of the last month. I stood by the sink, arms crossed, watching them. The house smelled like wet coats and guilt. Nobody wanted to start, so I did. Explain it, I said, voice flat. The trip, the money, the lies. All of it. Ellen stared at the bank statements, her fingers tracing the highlighted lines, $4, 200 gone, plus that secret debit card I'd found. Mason slouched lower, hoodie pulled tight. Claire's eyes stayed on her lap, tears dripping onto her jeans. The silence was thick, but I wasn't budging. Ellen went first, voice shaky. Jack, it wasn't supposed to be like this. Trish pitched the Tahoe idea a month ago, said it'd be a family reset. I thought, maybe we needed it. Things have been off with us. She glanced at me, then away. I didn't tell you because I knew you'd say no. Work's always first with you. I nodded slow. So you took my money instead. Planned it behind my back. Left me here on my birthday. She winced. It wasn't about the money, Jack. I used the joint account because it's ours, not just yours. And we were gonna surprise you with a dinner when we got back. A big thing, steaks and cake, the works. I pulled out my phone, showed her the chat with Trish. He'll enjoy the piece, I read aloud. That sound like a surprise party to you? Ellen's face crumpled. That was stupid. I was venting. Trish egged me on, she said you wouldn't care. I snorted. Trish don't live here. You do. Or did. Mason piped up, voice rough. Dad, it's not that deep. We just wanted a break. You're always at the warehouse, and when you're home, you're zoned out. Tahoe was fun. Thought you'd be cool with it. I turned on him. Cool with you spending $600 on a boat? $150 to some guy named Rusty? That's my paycheck, Mason. You ever think about that? He shrugged, but his ears went red. Didn't think you'd notice. Claire's turn came soft. I wanted to call you, Daddy. On your birthday. Mom said you'd be busy, and I went along. I'm sorry. She looked up, eyes wet. I should have stayed home. I believed her, mostly. But those pictures of her laughing by the lake stuck in my craw. Sorry's easy after the fact. I laid it out plain. 22 years, I've kept this family going. Paid the bills, fixed the cars, showed up. You turn 48, you expect something, respect, at least. Not this. I tapped the folder. For grand gone, secret accounts, text laughing at me. When did I become the guy you step over? Ellen reached for my hand. I pulled back. Jack, I messed up. I got caught up in Trish's big ideas, thought it'd fix us somehow. I didn't see how it'd hurt you. Mason muttered, yeah, my bad too. Claire just nodded, wiping her face. I let the words hang, then sat down. Here's where we're at. I've got a new account, my money's mine now. Joint's got 3 months of mortgage and utilities. After that, Ellen, you figure out your half or we're done. Mason, Claire, I'll keep helping you, direct, not through her. That's it. Ellen's eyes widened. You're serious? Splitting everything? I nodded. You made a choice. I'm making mine. Mason kicked the table leg. So what? You're divorcing Mom? I shook my head. Not yet. We got 3 months to see if this is worth saving. But it ain't going back to how it was. The room went quiet, just the rain and their breathing. Ellen stood, slow. I need to think. I'll sleep in the spare room tonight. Mason grabbed his bag. I'm crashing at Rusty's. This is too weird. Claire stayed, voice small. Can I stay here, Daddy? I nodded. Always. She hugged me first time in months. Felt good, even with everything else breaking. By 10 o'clock, the house settled. Ellen in the spare room, Claire in hers, me alone in the master. I didn't sleep much, just stared at the ceiling, replaying it all. They'd apologized, sure, but it wasn't enough. Not yet. I'd spent 22 years being the guy who takes it, who fixes it. Now I was the guy who says no. And that felt right, even if it hurt. April 15th, 2025, rolled in with the same gray sky, the rain dialed back to a drizzle. I woke up at 5 o'clock, the master bedroom feeling too big without Ellen's clutter. Her side of the bed was still made, hadn't been slept in since before Tahoe. I could hear Claire snoring down the hall, a soft buzz that reminded me some things hadn't changed. Ellen was in the spare room, probably awake, probably stewing. I didn't check. Got up, made coffee, and started my day. Work was a grind, forklifts humming, boxes stacking, the usual. My crew noticed I was quieter than normal, but nobody asked. I kept my head down, finished at 3 o'clock, and headed home. The folder was still on the kitchen table, a silent witness to last night's showdown. Claire was at the counter, eating cereal, her sketchbook open to a half-drawn dragon. She looked up. Morning, Daddy. You okay? I nodded. Getting there. You. She shrugged. Feel like crap. Mom's still mad. Ellen came down at 8 o'clock, hair pulled back, eyes puffy. She poured coffee, sat across from me, and tried to play it normal. Jack, can we talk about this like adults? Not with all the papers and drama. I sipped my mug, kept my voice steady. Sure. Tell me why you thought Tahoe was a reset without me. Tell me why my birthday didn't matter. She flinched. It wasn't about your birthday. It was about us, me, the kids, needing a break. You're always gone, Jack. Warehouse, overtime, fixing stuff. I didn't know how to reach you. I leaned forward. You reached my bank account just fine. For grand, Ellen. Plus that card I didn't know about. She set her mug down hard. That card's old, emergency stuff. Tahoe wasn't planned to hurt you. Trish pushed it, said it'd be good for us. I messed up, okay? I'm sorry. Her voice cracked, but I'd heard sorry before. You planned it for weeks, I said, pulling out the cabin receipt. My money, my birthday, And I'm the last to know. That ain't a mess up. That's a choice. Claire piped up, voice small. Daddy, I didn't want to go. Mom and Mason made it sound fun, and I didn't push back. I should have. I looked at her, saw the guilt eating her up. You're 19, Claire. You don't have to follow them. But you did. She nodded, tears starting again. Ellen cut in. Don't blame her, Jack. Blame me. I dragged them into it. I didn't argue. Plenty of blame to go around. By noon, Mason texted, coming by. Need to talk. He showed up at 1:30, truck rattling into the driveway. Looked rough, unshaven, eyes tired. Sat at the table, didn't touch the folder. Dad, I screwed up. Tahoe was dumb. I didn't think about the money, just went with it. Rusty's place sucks, by the way. I'm back here tonight, if that's cool. I studied him. You're welcome here. But you're paying rent now, $200 a month. Time to grow up. He blinked, then nodded. Fair. Ellen spent the day on the phone, Trish, mostly, from what I could hear through the spare room door. Lots of whispering, some crying. I didn't eavesdrop, just mowed the lawn, fixed a loose gutter, kept moving. Around 5 o'clock, she came out, calmer. Jack, I called the bank. That card's got $2,000 on it. My scarf money didn't cover much. I'll pay it off. Trish offered to help, but I said no. I raised an eyebrow. Good. It's your debt, not hers. She nodded, a flicker of something like respect in her eyes. That night, we ate together, first time in months. Claire cooked spaghetti, Mason set the table, Ellen chopped garlic bread. It wasn't cozy, tension hung like smoke, but it was a start. After, Ellen sat me down. Jack, I don't want a divorce. I messed up bad, but I love you. Can we try? Not like before, better. I didn't answer right away. Looked at her, at the kids cleaning up, at the house I built for us. Maybe, I said. But it's on my terms too. No more secrets. No more Trish calling shots. And you get a job, real one, not scarves. She swallowed hard. Okay. I'll start looking tomorrow. Mason chimed in. I'll pitch in more too, rent, chores, whatever. Claire hugged me from behind. I'm in, Daddy. No more dumb trips. I felt the weight shift, not gone, but lighter. We'll see, I said. Day by day. Bedtime came, and Ellen stayed in the spare room. I didn't push. Lay in bed, thinking. I'd drawn a line, and they'd stepped up some, at least. Wasn't forgiveness yet, but it was something. For the first time in days, I slept through the night. April 16th, 2025, dawn brighter, no rain, just a crisp Idaho morning with the sun cutting through the pines. I woke up at 5:30, the house quiet except for the coffee maker gurgling. Claire was still asleep. Mason's truck was already gone. He'd mumbled something about an early construction gig, and Ellen's door was cracked open, light spilling out. I smelled toast. She was up, moving, doing something. That was new. I poured my coffee, sat on the porch, and watched the neighborhood wake up, dogs barking, sprinklers kicking on. My phone had cooled off, no flood of messages, just a text from Dave. You good, man? Lawyer's ready if you need him. I typed back, holding steady. Might not need him yet. Felt strange saying it, but it was true. Last night's spaghetti dinner stuck with me, not the food, the effort. Small, sure, but real. Ellen came out at 6:15, mug in hand, hair tied back. She looked tired but focused. Jack, I'm serious about a job. Applied online, receptionist at a dentist's office, cashier at the hardware store. Got an interview tomorrow. I nodded, surprised. Good. That scarf thing's fine, but we need steady. She sat beside me, not too close. I know. I've leaned on you too long. Tahoe, it was me running from that. I'm done running. I sipped my coffee, let her words settle. You say that now. What about Trish? She's been in your ear for years. Ellen sighed. I told her to back off. Called her last night, said this is my family, my mess. She didn't like it, but I don't care. I glanced at her. You mean that? She met my eyes. Yeah, she's out. No more Tahoe stunts. I didn't smile, but I felt a knot loosen. Mason rolled in at noon, dusty from work, carrying a 6-pack of soda. Lunch break, Dad. Figured I'd eat here. He sat at the table, cracked a can, and eyed the folder, still there. A quiet threat. You keeping that forever? I shrugged. Till I don't need it. He nodded, slow. Fair. Look, I'm sorry, really. Tahoe was me being a jackass. I'll pay you back, $1.50 a week, starting next paycheck. I raised an eyebrow. You got that? He grinned, sheepish. Barely. But I owe you. I took it. Step forward. Claire came down at 1 o'clock, sketchbook under her arm. Daddy, I'm dropping a class. Frees me up to work part-time. Bookstore's hiring. I want to help too. I set my soda down. You sure? School's your thing. She nodded. It'll still be. Just less pressure, and I hate feeling like I took from you. Her eyes were clear, no tears today. I hugged her. All right, kid. Proud of you. She hugged back, tight. By 3 o'clock, I was back at the warehouse, but my head wasn't in it. Kept thinking about Ellen's job hunt, Mason's offer, Claire's plan. They were trying not just words, action. I clocked out at 5 o'clock, stopped by the hardware store on a whim. Picked up paint, blue, for the living room. Been meaning to freshen it up for years. Got home, found Ellen on the couch, scrolling job listings. Dennis called back, she said. Second interview Friday. I held up the paint. Want to help me with this tomorrow? She blinked, then smiled. First real one in days. Yeah, Jack. I'd like that. That night, Mason cooked burgers, nothing fancy, but he grilled them outside like I taught him. Claire set the table. Ellen poured iced tea. We ate on the porch, sun dipping low. Talked about small stuff. Work, school, the neighbor's yappy dog. No Tahoe, no folder, just us. After, Ellen lingered. Jack, can I move back to our room? Not pushing, just asking. I thought it over. One condition. We start counseling. Real stuff, not just paint and burgers. She nodded quick. Deal. I'll find someone tomorrow. I lay in bed later, alone still, staring at the ceiling. The house felt warmer, not fixed, but shifting. Ellen was stepping up, the kids too. I wasn't ready to trust it all, not after 22 years of coasting turned into Tahoe. But I saw a crack of light. Maybe we could build something new, not just patch the old. Tomorrow, we'd paint. Next week, we'd talk to someone. Day by day, like I said. For the first time in a while, I fell asleep easy. May 12, 2025, marked 1 month since my 48th birthday, the day I woke up to an empty house and a gut punch. Today, the sun was out, warming the Boise air, and I was on the porch with a beer, watching the paint dry on the living room walls through the open door. Ellen and I had spent the last few weeks slapping that blue coat on, one roller at a time. It looked good fresh, like a reset I could see. Things moved slow after that night in April. Ellen got the receptionist job at the dentist's office, started 2 weeks back, 30 hours a week. Brings home $600 a month after taxes, enough to cover her car payment and chip at that $2,000 debt. She's been logging every dime, showing me receipts without me asking. First paycheck went straight to the card, second bought groceries. I didn't push her back into our room right away, waited till last weekend, after our third counseling session. She's there now, pillows fluffed, snoring soft beside me at night. Counseling's been a trip. First time, I sat there, arms crossed, while Ellen cried about feeling invisible too. Second time, I talked about work, about missing ball games, about how I thought providing was enough. Third time, we laughed, actual laughs, over how we both hate Trish's casseroles. The counselor, some guy named Greg, says we're digging up old dirt to plant something new. I don't know about that, but I feel lighter walking out each time. Mason stuck around, pays his $200 rent on the dot, every Friday. He's working steady now, framing houses, and comes home Sundays for dinner. Last week, he brought a budgeting app on his phone, proud as a kid with a report card. Look, Dad, I'm at $300 saved. I clapped his shoulder. Good, son. Keep it up. He's quieter online too, no more boring dad jabs. Deleted half his posts, says they were dumb. I believe him. Claire's thriving, got the bookstore gig, 20 hours a week, stacking shelves and sketching dragons on her breaks. She's down to 3 classes, still pulling A's, and hands me $100 every other week for house stuff. I put it in a jar, told her it's hers for emergencies. She stays over most nights, cooks with me sometimes, tacos, her specialty. Last night, she hugged me out of nowhere. Daddy, I'm glad we're us again. Hit me right in the chest. The folder's gone, shredded it last week. Didn't need it anymore. Ellen asked why. I said, proof's in what you do now, not then. She nodded, teary, and we painted over the last wall together. Tahoe's a memory, fading, not forgotten. Trish called once, left a voicemail about misunderstandings. I didn't call back. Ellen hasn't either. That's her line in the sand, and she's holding it. Today, I took the day off, first time in months. Sat on the porch, beer cold, thinking. Ellen's at work, kids are out living their lives. House is quiet, but not empty. I've started fishing again, Saturdays by the river, just me and a rod. Caught a trout last time, cooked it for dinner. Mason joined once, said it beat boats. Claire's planning a hike next month, us 3. No pressure. Ellen's talking about a weekend trip, cheap, local, all of us. I said yes. My phone pinged. Ellen. Home at 5 o'clock. Steaks tonight? I texted back. Sounds good. I'll fire up the grill. Simple, normal. I updated my Facebook, first post since those rainy days. Picture of the porch, beer in hand, caption, May 12, 2025. Life's alright. No drama, no tags. Comments rolled in. Dave, hell yeah, brother. Claire, love you, daddy. Mason, grill master. Ellen, see you soon. I ain't naive, 22 years don't fix in a month. Trust a slow build, and we've got cracks still. But we're here, showing up. Ellen's working, kids are pitching in, and I'm not just the paycheck guy anymore. I'm Jack, husband, dad, fisherman, me. Visible again, not because I forced it, but because we all chose it. Sun's dipping now, shadows stretching across the yard. I finish my beer, head inside to prep the grill. Steaks tonight, family around the table. It's not perfect, but it's ours. And for the first time in a long time, that's enough.